Warning, the views and beliefs in the following program does not reflect the views of Boom Broadcasting. We give full creative control to our creators and do not believe in cancel culture. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back and we got wrestling to talk about. Viewer discretion is advised.
Live from the MOWM studio, Boom Broadcasting presents The Nightcap. And your host of The Nightcap, mouthing off with Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nightcap here on Boom Broadcasting, hosted by yours truly. I am the Mike that likes to mouth off. I am, in fact, mouthing off with Mike. It's your boy, MOWM, in his house. And of course, finally, I was able to save him from the Wyatt Six for a redo of last Friday night's Nightcap here. It is my main man, the host of It Stinks, and the host of Wrestling of Destiny, a fellow Boom Broadcasting creator. That is my main man, Sean. What's cooking tonight, Sean? How the hell have you been? And anything we got to worry about when it comes to the Wyatt Six? Are we in the clear?
We're good right now, brother. I think the Wyatt Six tried to get to my other monitor over here when we first got going. It started glitching, but good thing about the other one kicked right on, and we can go ahead and get over the Nightcap. But man, I'll tell you, they had me last week, and I'm telling everybody, never talk about the Wyatt Six while you're watching SmackDown. Don't tweet about it. Don't post nothing on Instagram, Facebook. Don't text nobody because they will find a way to find you and kidnap you like they did for me the past 6 days, brother.
It's been radio silence here. It's great to have you on the show, Sean. Ladies and gentlemen, we come with some celebratory news here tonight. Boom Broadcasting hit another milestone here on YouTube as we did hit the 500 subscriber mark. So I do want to give a special shout out to all the Boom boys. Make sure you go subscribe, go show some love, go watch some awesome content. Sean included in that. He's been a day one guy with the Prez Michael Davis, with Shannon Smith. We've got some newcomers. We got Cody. We got Chris. We got Wayne. We got Jason. We got Aaron. We got Carson. We got everybody who contributed here. So much love and shout out to all of them for getting Boom to where it's at. The next milestone, ladies and gentlemen, I think you know what one we're talking about. It's going to be that 1,000 subscriber mark. So make sure you subscribe. Tune in. Watch Sean's shows. Watch everyone else's shows. Thank you to Rick 8-Bit. What a good brother. We wouldn't be here without the love and support of guys like Rick 8-Bit, Booking Like a Mark, Four Sides of the Ring, Championship Culture, all of the amazing content creators that we have been able to collab with. Let's go, MOWM and Sean. Yes, sir. Jason, host of 3 from Deep here. You can also see him on Sideline Savants with the commish with fantasy football. Shout out to ZWC. Great to have you in the building here tonight, folks. We got ourselves an action-packed show for SmackDown. We, as you couldn't tell by the background, Sean, we are in the good old UK. We're in London. The London Bridge is not falling down tonight here. You know what I'm saying? Right there, first song lyric reference of the day. But Sean, we are in London, O2 Arena, Friday night SmackDown. Another boisterous, unhinged wrestling crowd for WWE. What did you think about the crowd tonight on SmackDown?
Well, we always say this, Mike, whether they're in overseas in London, if they're in Switzerland, Germany, Puerto Rico, anytime you're outside the States, the crowds are just much hotter. We saw that in Paris when they went to France. They're just much hotter. And you said it best. And I tell people this all the time, what you said. Us as Americans, we're used to getting our WWE nearby, close by, within drivable distance. You know, you may have to catch a flight if it's a 2 states over, it's a big pay-per-view you want to go to. You may got to catch a flight, but most time we can get it drivable distance, north or south, east or west, where we are located at. So we're used to it. And then the thing about us is a lot of stuff with WWE we can't catch. You got AEW, you got TNA, you got Ring of Honor running shows. New Japan sometimes come and do crossovers with AEW. You got the mom and pops, the indie shows in your backyard. So we got wrestling any day of the week you want right in your area. But over there, they don't get it that much. So when WWE shows up, they roll out the red carpet and the crowd is red hot from the start to the end of the show.
Oh, absolutely. I agree, Sean. I think we were talking about it a little bit before on air. If we were still in the U.S., I don't feel like these crowds, and it wouldn't feel kind of like WrestleMania season without these international crowds. So much love to Spain, Italy, London, Scotland. Shout out to all of the countries out there over the pond. I'm drinking a little bottle of water. I threw some tea in the harbor just to make sure, I was still sticking true to my roots here.
American history on the nightcap tonight.
Yeah, it's American history tonight here on the nightcap. I called up Paul Revere. He said the British are coming. I said, I know they're coming to watch SmackDown in the O2 Arena. All right, Paul, I'm sorry. I'm a Benedict Arnold, I guess, tonight. Because I got love for the UK here tonight.
Yes.
Comes to SmackDown, but I don't have love for Sean. Is WrestleMania week just keeps getting more and more and more and more announced. We've got a roast of WrestleMania Sunday after WrestleMania. You've got the Undertaker show. Now, Thursday through Sunday, you've got WrestleMania After Dark. And they're doing shows and parties after WrestleMania with some artists. And you can do meet and greets with these wrestlers, man. On top of WWE World, on top of your WrestleMania tickets, on top of your stand and deliver tickets, your SmackDown tickets, your Raw tickets. Now we've added the NXT after WrestleMania. You've got the Hall of Fame in a different venue, and you've added 5 additional shows. Sean, if you're going to WrestleMania in Vegas, I need to know what you're doing for a living because I'm going to Vegas. I don't even have tickets. I'm going for the vibes. I don't know how people can afford all this. What are your thoughts on it? Overpopulated?
It's no way possible now. I mean, the past couple of ones, they did some good build-ups, and I think the first one they did in New York, then the Philly ones, they added a few things with the Undertaker's one-man dead show, did some other meet and greets. But when I looked at the slate tonight, and I said, you're doing all of this, and we still ain't got the WrestleMania yet? It just feels like it's too much. I mean, when you go to WrestleMania, and I've never been to a live one, I did get to go to one WrestleMania during COVID, the one online. So I was in the crowd on my monitor waving at everybody. Hey, look, Mom, I'm at WrestleMania. But I've been to WrestleCon up here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and it's an experience just kind of like a Mania on a lower scale. But the thing is, what Mania is, I know they want to make it where you don't sleep. And if you ever been to Bike Weekend down in Myrtle Beach, that's kind of how Bike Weekend used to be. You make it where you don't want to sleep. But the thing is, you can't have too much, Mike. And I think right now it's just overcrowded with a lot of stuff to make you feel like I got to go to this, I got to go to that. But you're taking away from it. All you got to do, WWE, is go back to the formula that works. A Friday night SmackDown. A Saturday NXT show, Saturday night Mania, Sunday night Mania, Monday night Raw, and you can throw in like an Undertaker one-man dead show. I know that's kind of big, got a big following with that, what people want to see it, but just keep it simple. Keep the kids mentality. Keep it simple, stupid. That's all you got to do. If you do that, I think then the people, your fans, don't get overcrowded, feeling like I'm bumping around, going around Vegas, catching Ubers everywhere, trying to get all around to all this stuff. There's no way you can do a weekend access now. Got to be running in what 6,500, 7,000 just building every event.
If you go to you're talking 2-night combo pack tickets for WrestleMania. If you are two people going, it is going to cost you to sit in the 300 level. It would cost you approximately $3,000 per ticket per person for the combo ticket. So you're talking $6,000 before fees just for Mania. Stand and deliver, let's just call it another added $300. Right. Your Raw after Mania is looking like $500. You're already approaching $10,000, and that's not even including your hotel, your food, your merch, and all of the other necessities, your Ubers. Right. The good thing about the Strip, though, is there's a lot of rails. There's a lot you could do a lot of walking, right? And Vegas at that time of year shouldn't be too hot. You know, you should be probably like 80s, 90s, you know, which isn't miserable for the desert. But the point remains, you know, I think it has a lot to do with one being Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world, you know, so they want to capitalize on that and the club scene and all of that stuff. And I think it also has to do with the indies. I think WWE feels, maybe they just feel, maybe it's corporate greed. You know, they're the machine, right? We talk a lot of positive about WWE. We talk a lot of positive about AEW. We talk a lot about negatives about the both companies, right?
Right.
I think it also has a little bit to do with corporate greed. The more events you add, and the more of you find these diehard fans that maybe would casually go to an indie show, you force them to invest in a nightclub party after, you know, a comedy show, a dead man show. Potentially, if you go to all 5 days of WWE World, that's $400 or $80 a day per ticket. So, man, I feel like they're going the UFC method here, and I'm sure you've probably seen a lot of the pricing for UFC matches. Like, you're not sitting, if you're a normal fan for UFC, you're not sitting anywhere near the cage. You're sitting in the 300 level, and that's going to run you 200, 250. So the pricing seems to be applied. I think Mania, Super Bowl, that's it. It's the Super Bowl, and they're going to price it out accordingly.
And, you know, that's one thing that WWE did do that, you know, I started seeing a lot of people with the past 2 Mania, a lot of the indie groups up there run those little indie spot shows. And if you're a fan, you know you're going to Mania that night on Saturday night. But if there's an indie spot show around 2 o'clock that you can kick out with $25 to get in, see a couple old timers that, you know, were former WWE stars, see some of them up there, get a chance to get pictures with them to get you kind of in the mood before you get to Mania. I always thought that was a win for WWE because now you kind of using both. But I feel like when you're just crowding the agenda with so much WWE, it kind of takes away from it. When UFC used to come to town up here in Raleigh, in the capital city, in the Carolinas, you would see leading up to that UFC, it was pretty much like a UFC house show, what we would get. You would see a couple spot shows of MMAs, tough bands, to kind of lead up to it to get you ready for it. But I thought it was just enough, not overkill like what we're seeing now by WWE.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, man. And then you think about it, like NXT Stand and Delivers 9:30 in the morning, Saturday morning. Right. So if you go to the party, the after dark party Friday night, let's say after SmackDown, you go to the Hall of Fame, which is going to be after SmackDown, which will be like 8 Eastern time local. So you're going to go from SmackDown to Hall of Fame, which will be probably another 2 hours. Then you're going to go to the nightclub from 12 to 2 a.m. And then you got to wake up at 8:30 to get to NXT Stand and Deliver for 9:30. Then you got to rush over to Mania for 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon to make it on time. So that's good luck.
And you got to think when you're leaving these shows, going back to the hotel, it's going to be so many fans in their crowd in the lobbies that you're going to sit down and talk an hour or two, you know, man, this is what happened, you know, stuff like that. You never know who's going to walk in that hotel lobby. Anybody. Yeah, that's stuff you don't want to miss.
And especially if you're going to WrestleCon and you're going to those indies like Bloodsport Thursday night, and you got GCW shows, and you got, you know, this show and that show, and, you know, Ring of Honor probably running a show like they always do. Rick said he knows Vegas wanted Mania and wanted it this weekend to boost tourism. Makes you wonder who is calling the shots. Yeah, I mean, Vegas gets a lot of pull here. You know, Logan said, my theory, CM Punk enters the Cody Cena match, turning into a 3-way, or he shows up after the match to challenge the winner that same night. Logan, you're on the same boat I am, because that's what I said last week could happen. So when we get there, we're going to talk about all the speculation. But WrestleMania week, you might be doing your best Scarface impersonation just to make it to all these events. Welcome to SmackDown. New ring announcer Mark Nash. Sean, Mark Nash has called some boxing fights. He's called some other sporting events here. What did you think about Mark's debut tonight and his first night on the job as the announcer for SmackDown?
When the news broke that he pretty much would be replacing Lillian Garcia, and she would kind of be fading off, you know, into the backside of the back picture, doing more of some, you know, one-off Saturday night main event stuff like that. I think they did good with this pick right here. I heard Mark Nash call basketball. He's called football. He's called boxing. So it's kind of like I knew this was going to be a good pickup. And one thing I can say about Triple H in this era with his announcers and his ring announcers, a lot of people try to crap on him because he's going to get these guys who call other sports or ESPN guys. I think just for the way they call, it sounds more like you're watching the UFC style of an event. Because you got a guy who can do play-by-play, and you got a guy like Wade who just gives you that color analyst on that side. I think Mark sounded good tonight as a ring announcer. I think it was a good pickup. I think right now between him and Alicia Taylor, they got two good ones. Now, would I love to have Samantha Irvin back? Hell yeah. I think Samantha Irvin just has something a little bit more special than them, but I know it's going to be hard to get her back because she's kind of doing her own thing now with singing and, Ricochet's over at AEW. But, hey, for the first night on the job, hey, Mark, you got my approval. Sound good.
Yeah, I agree. Mark, flying colors you passed tonight on your first night as SmackDown announcer. I do agree. It does give you that different kind of feel to it. Samantha and Ricochet, congratulations on your marriage. They just got married last weekend, so congratulations. I hope you're doing well. We'll miss you for when you eventually come on over. I'm sure you'll be back one day. Sean, getting into Friday Night SmackDown, we got Cody Rhodes kicking off his show, SmackDown. Good promo here. Randy comes out. Drew comes out. What did you make about this opening segment of SmackDown?
This was a very good opening segment. I'm glad that they did it at the beginning because with Cody, they try to wait. If Roman's there, Cody comes on around that, going into that 10 o'clock hour to close that out. Glad they put this on first because, number one, it makes us remember that Cody is the star of the show. Randy did exactly what we've been waiting to hear Randy say since he came back. It's going to be a day, Cody, that I'm going to want to challenge you for that title and go for number 15. They already sprinkled that seed in right there that's coming. That made me feel good. And then Drew coming out. We knew Drew was coming out because Drew has to find a way to keep himself inserted in that main event picture. Even if he's not fighting Cody or fighting Gunther, he's just got to, and I always say about Drew, he's got to stay around it because he's one of those guys that if you need to put the belt on a heel as a transitional to kind of give the babyface a break, because they're kind of losing that sting, Drew's the guy to go with. So I thought this was a good opening promo right here. Thought all three of them knocked it out. Thought Randy did the best. Kind of, congratulating Cody. Really was shocked. And like I said, this lets you know we're still in this Triple H era. That even Randy talked about Cody leaving to go to the Indies, to go to AEW, start something big. He didn't mention AEW, just so we knew what he was talking about. Start something big and come back. So I even like that part of the promo. But I think this was a superb way to kick off SmackDown.
I agree. We hit on a lot of different kind of, branches we could see coming out of WrestleMania 41 if Cody does in fact able to retain his title against, evil John Cena. Love Drew McIntyre talking about Damian Priest, calling him Timu Undertaker. I was like, all right, Drew, you're spending I can only imagine what that man's screen time is for Twitter because it is through the roof because that is a Twitter original. And his man liner, I thought that was just so on par for Drew. But I agree. Keeping Drew nice and tight where the title is, whoever it may be, whether it's Cody or Cena following WrestleMania, is the right decision because you can really capitalize on either one of that and being the first feud for Drew post, first feud for whoever is the champion. I'm not, obviously you guys know I'm a Cody guy, but I'm also a, heartbroken John Cena guy. So I'm cool with whoever wins at WrestleMania. I think it makes more sense for Cody to get the win here and have Cena redemption story on the retirement tour personally to get the 17. I also think that if Cena does win, it does open up doors for a Randy Orton feud, a Drew McIntyre feud, a CM Punk feud, a lot of different feuds there that then open the door. So I'm 50-50 on it, but I agree. Good opening segment to SmackDown. Tag titles were on the line. The Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly. Yes, boy. Big fan of Pretty Deadly. I love these guys, Sean. Never once in my mind did I think the Street Profits would drop the titles tonight, but a solid match.
Arguably probably one of the best matches on this show tonight besides Randy and Drew. But when I watched this match, I said two things going into it. Number one, Street Profits had to work his heels tonight because Pretty Deadly was on their backyard at home.
Yeah.
Number two that I didn't like, with all we did to build up Pretty Deadly to where they're right now, a top face of that tag team division, Just think if 2 weeks ago we could have continued to keep carrying that story that they were helping DIY, and now DIY had exposed them, and they didn't get no credit. Fought DIY tonight in London and won the titles in their hometown. That crowd would have went crazy for that. And I just said, hey, I like street profits, big fans of street profits, but I felt like if you knew you were going to London, you could have carried that story just for 2 more weeks to get to happen. And if the Yes Boys are pretty deadly, lose it next week to the Profits, or 2 weeks to that at the Profits, either the week going or the Friday night going into Mania. That could have been good, but I just thought you could have carried it on, had them win at home, and just gave the hometown crowd a little bit more juice than they already had going into this show.
I like it, Sean. My man Sean rebooked this feud, and I think that would have been the right way to do it. I didn't even really think about it. Yeah, should have flipped this around. Should have had DIY, do Pretty Deadly, win the titles in their hometown, and have the Profits come out next week, get themselves a match against Pretty Deadly, then squash them, transition, boom. Pretty Deadly gets their pop. They get to say they're tag team champions, former tag titles. Profits hold the titles through, into or past WrestleMania, and you can build them up. So I like that idea, Sean. I think that would have been way more effective. But nevertheless, I'm glad the Profits did get the titles.
Yes.
They're long overdue for them.
It's time for Montez to break away sooner or later.
It's gonna happen one day, and I don't know how the people will handle it, but I'm sure they'll be happy. You never know what could happen there. Maybe Dawkins is the one that ends up becoming the guy that goes solo, and maybe Dawkins does it. You never know. They could both. I mean, for now,
they both can work. They both can work. Yeah. I always say Dawkins can work that mid card. Montez can work that heavyweight division.
I'm mad at that. I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have your flags ready to pledge allegiance to your United States champion. Chelsea Green and the Secret Hervis will be in action here against Kaden and Katana, our favorite rave girls here. The Secret Hervis, Alba Fire, Piper Niven. This is the best thing we could have gotten. We've got 2 Scottish women with a Canadian American as the United States champion in the Secret Hervis and the Cabinet. Sean, I absolutely love this.
It's working every week. Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, and Amber Fire. It gets better and better. And for people who don't think it's getting better, since she needs to drop the U.S. title, you don't have the way she's doing it and the way they're booking her. She don't have to be somebody night in, night out, bail in, bail out, defending the title. She does her work in that back managerial role as the champ, letting the Secret Hervis do all the grunt work, and she just cuts the promos. Chelsea right now has found her niche in WWE, and this is working. It's working. I look forward to Friday night. Just see her, Piper, and Fire on Friday nights.
I don't understand how anybody could ever hate anything that Chelsea Green does. Everything Chelsea Green does turns to gold.
It does.
Absolute and utter gold. By far, most entertaining woman, I mean, in WWE right now, across wrestling, I mean, I'll put her right there with Toni Storm. Like, I think those two are right on par. Maybe Toni gets the edge a little bit for just having the uncanny, just calling herself in Thunder Rosa last week Thunder Tits. I mean, you're gonna kill me with that. I cracked up. You nearly had a spit take. Chelsea Green, the Secret Hervis, they get a win. Zelina Vega's right here, Sean. She is creeping up, and I think it's safe to say I think Chelsea's opponent at WrestleMania will in fact be Zelina Vega.
That's it. And I think that's what she needed. The draft always helped people out. Her getting drafted over to SmackDown, leaving the LWO, kind of still revving the LWO, but kind of going in her own way now, working with B-Fab and Meechin a little bit. This is what she needed. And like I said, Zelina has always been a workhorse that gets better the more she keeps wrestling. I'm telling you, I've always been a big Zelina fan from day one. I just think right now, if somebody's going to beat Chelsea, it should be her.
From your lips to Triple H's ears.
Yes.
That's it. Please, Triple H, don't be a fraud. The U.S. Championship is on the line. We got L.A. Knight, taking on that big, that meaty, that big son of a bitch, Braun Strowman. And somebody get the bell here. Get your counter here because ding, ding, ding. We got ourselves a no contest because are we calling them the Bloodline? Are they still the Bloodline or are they just like
Jacob and the
Solo
boys.
Sikoa and Jacob and the boys?
Jacob and the boys. Because that's what they are now. They're the boys and it's Jacob's time.
Why does Jacob and the boys sound like a 60s Motown? Got Jacob and the boys.
Doing great things.
Taking guys through tables and big old Samoan drops. Oh, God, I love it. I love it. I love you, Jacob Fatu.
I thought we were going to get it tonight because when he cut the promo backstage, I mean, I'm sitting on the edge of the seat because I'm like, the match was going good, but I can say, hey, I'm just waiting for Jacob to come out sooner or later. Finally, when I see him jump up, hit that dive elbow, I said, well, now time to get back invested into this match. Jacob goes back there, cuts the promo, and he tells Thelma, he says something, tell him to be quiet. I was waiting to say, I hate you, Solo.
Oh, I'm waiting for it.
It's coming, man. It's coming.
It's coming. I'm gonna mark out like a little kid when I hear that. I love Jacob because Jacob's just so real, bro. He's just himself. Like he's turned up to the. That's what I mean. My personal opinion. That's what makes a great wrestling character is when someone is themselves but turned to 20. Like that's why a guy like LA Knight works. That's why a guy like Stone Cold worked. The Rock, you know, Cena, and I think Jacob works this in the same way. It's like he's just him. That's how he's always been.
That's it.
Just from the Bay Area, just whooping ass, just old school as hell. You know, like a more athletically versatile Umaga, but like the combination of like Umaga with like the charisma of like the Rock or Rikishi. Like, it's insane. It's insane. Like he's like a combination of all of these guys like put into one, and he creates like this freak of a human being, of a professional wrestler. Like I'm fascinated by him. Like I think he is incredible.
I say this about him all the time. And no disrespect to Jimmy J. Usos, the Usos, no disrespect to Roman, no disrespect to Zilla, to none of them. I know he found the Rock, none of them. But to me, in this group of the Noe family, Jacob's the best. As far as he's got the promo skills, that's where Roman kind of can notch him a little bit because, you know, Roman just can be Roman, but Jacob's getting there. But when it comes to the in-ring skills, the high-flying maneuvers, all that, he can do everything better than Roman, the Usos, Zilla, all of them. Now I can't wait when Zilla gets there to see how he kind of mentioned. Oh, shout out to Zilla having his baby today. But I can't wait to see how he is. I can't wait to see how he is when he matches with her. He's counting down till he can come up there and sign with WWE. But to me, Jacob right now is the best one in WWE out of that whole Adomi family.
It's insane. I am. It's like this man is like Samoan Umaga, Rock, Jeff Hardy, all mixed into one. Like, can hit the swanton, the moonsault, whisper in the wind. Like dude's going crazy. I love you, Solo. I mean, I love you, Jacob Fatu. Solo, you are gonna reap what you sow. Paul Heyman told you a year ago you should have never brought them into the company. These guys are bloodthirsty killers. Yes. You can't control them. That's why Roman never brought them in because he wasn't going to be able to control them. Solo, you let the dog off the chain, bro.
You got Jacob Fatu and you got the boys of Haku. And when your dad name is Haku, you already know the boys are ruthless.
That's it. That man is Solo. I'm sorry. Good luck, because you are not making it out of. You're not making it out of the next couple months alive. If you keep screwing Jacob out here of titles and opportunities, it's over, Solo. We're getting that. I hate you, Solo Sikoa. We're getting it.
It's coming.
It's good. It's gonna be chef's kiss. While we're on the subject here, we've got the women, and the women were subjected to basically one stretch of show. So I hate to say it, but the poor women are becoming the afterthought on the build to WrestleMania, Sean. But we did get a great video package from Naomi tonight. Proceed with caution, Sean, is going to be, looks like Naomi's catchphrase because she told Jade and even Bianca that you probably should be proceeding with caution here. And she came out and she attacked Michin after. Sean, talk to people about Naomi.
Great promo. The ring attire looks way better this week than it did last week. Last week, I said it reminded me of Owen Hart when he joined the Nation of Domination with the caution and the Thunderbolts and the caution up there. You felt like last week, right? Looking at the ring attire last week to this week, you felt like they said, hey, we can do something with this caution thing. Go get some caution tape. Let's tape it on her and roll with it. This week, the package looks good. The promo looks good. The tears that she was saying, Bianca, who was the one that got you started? You looked up to. It was me. I was putting in work when you was in Tennessee running track, watching me on WWE TV. I was doing all of this. I thought the promo killed it. I knew she was going to come out and run. I didn't think it was going to be that match, but I thought she was going to do something. To take out B-Fab and Michin at that match was good. To lead up to the Charlotte match for that, I mean, which I kind of was a little mad because I wish Michin could have got a little bit more in on Charlotte, but once again, that's how you protect somebody that you can use later on down the road. Say she couldn't beat Charlotte because Naomi came and ran in and attacked her. But I saw everything was good in this match. Charlotte, that's my girl. I'm a Charlotte guy, but feels like this match just didn't feel like the typical Charlotte match. It just didn't. It didn't click with me. This is when I kind of started saying, okay, what's going on?
So can I be honest? To me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get fined, but to me tonight, for some reason, it felt like Charlotte didn't give a fuck.
Yes, thank you. That's how I felt. It's like I'm on the card because we're in London. They booked me. They already advertised me to be here. They didn't advertise me to do a promo. I'm gonna come out. I know Michin's gonna have a Naomi run in. I'm gonna do this match, put it in the figure eight, and get out of here. I did like that at the end. I did like that at the end. When I kept saying when Jade Cargill was helping B-Fab out, I was like, slow down. Jade was speed walking, power walk. I said, slow down and set something up with you and Charlotte. And when they did that, I said, okay, now we got something.
Yeah, I think we saw a couple different things tonight. I think we saw a couple branches when it comes to the Cody Cena story and some branches when it comes to Charlotte and Tiffany. Tiffany also got a good backstage promo in tonight here. Yes. And I think Tiffany nailed it. I think the whole point of this is, look, if Charlotte beats me, all right, I lost to one of the most prestigious women's wrestlers, pedigrees, my role model, the person who got me into the wrestling. I lost to Charlotte at WrestleMania. I can live with that. I lost to someone who is considered better than me. But Charlotte, if you lose to me, the 25-year-old rookie who was handed everything, who hasn't been here long enough for a cup of coffee, yada, 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 I thought that was super effective here in kind of helping rewrite how Tiffany kind of trailed off last week against Charlotte in the head-to-head. I thought this was a good way to kind of bring her back up and kind of add a new element to this where it's like, let's put some doubt in Charlotte's head. Because if you lose to Tiffany, what does that say about you? And what does that say about your abilities in the ring against the 25-year-old, punk rookie? I like it. It still feels like an afterthought, Sean, because I feel like they're loaded up. They're doing double promotion for Cody and Cena on SmackDown and Raw. They're doing double promotion for Punk, Roman, and Seth on Raw and SmackDown. So I think it's getting overshadowed by both of these, and being sandwiched right in the middle does not help.
No.
But I am a little bit more excited for Tiffany and Charlotte now that we have the dynamic now finally set in stone of rookie versus vet. Will the rookie overcome? Will the vet dominate? And how do they kind of branch out after the dust settles in Vegas?
And this is one when you said that type of matchup right there. Going in, you're setting up a good storyline. If Charlotte loses, that she's got to find a way. Or you could always say Charlotte won, but she had to cheat to win. She had to stoop down to cheating. Here's somebody who's supposed to be in a 15-year vet that the rookie took to the limit.
Exactly. Logan also says he's excited for Maki Ito and Mickie James match at the Memorial Wrestling Show on Super. Yes, Logan, I did see this being announced for the March Hitchcock Memorial Show at WrestleCon. We're gonna get Maki Ito versus Mickie James, which I thought was wild to see. That'll be a fun one. Maybe I'll have to
Get a little
I'm gonna have to
hardcore
stop
country.
in. A little hardcore
Hardcore
country. Love you, Mickey James. Love
Yes,
you.
I love that.
Love
Give it
you.
for her, man. That is her all the way.
I'll never forget, man. WrestleMania 23, her, Trish Stratus. As a kid watching that on pay-per-view, man, begged my pops to buy it, and you just got Mickey James hitting the right there. I love Mickey. GOAT. Well, the GOAT. Get her in the Hall of Fame tomorrow.
Yes.
Could have added her this year too with Michelle McCool, man. I felt Layla should have been in it this year with Michelle.
Yeah.
I felt a little.
That would hurt
I don't
without
really know
Layla.
how I feel about this Hall of Fame class this year, man. I mean, I like the natural disasters.
This one don't feel good to me like the
Did
past couple of
Triple
years.
H have to get inducted this year, particularly of
Right,
all
and-
the names? Lex Luger's good. I think Lex is deserving.
Well, and like I said about Lex, you know, his WWF stuff didn't get him in. It was the WCW run that got him in. Natural disaster, typhoon, the earthquake. I mean, go back, watch them on tape. They were powerful. You know, they ran the tag division for a while till they ran up on LOD. But I'm like you, without Michelle there for Lay Cool. I mean, Lala for Lay Cool. It just feels wrong. It feels wrong.
It's different. Like I understand, like maybe you don't induct them together, or like, you know, because like you obviously want to get Candace in there. Like I could argue Layla also has an argument for a singles Hall of Fame run, but maybe you should have established Lay Cool in first, then dropped in Candace like in a year or two. You know, personally, I think Mickey's a name that should have been a little bit higher above that. I mean, we know Trish is in the Hall. Is Trish in the Hall of Fame?
Trish in the Hall.
Oh, Trish is in the Hall of Fame. So like Trish, you know, Trish got in obviously because she said she was gonna, you know, she retired early in her career, but then that didn't stick. Like most, you know, wrestlers' retirements don't stick. I felt like Mickey should be in it before, or at least with. I feel like a few divas should have went in from that era. If you're gonna put Michelle in, throw Mickey in, throw Layla in. You know, you throw Kelly in. I guess you know.
Got Kelly.
You know.
This class right here feels kind of weak. And then, you know, I did like the iconic moment they're doing with Mania 13, Stone Cold and Bret Hart. I thought that was pretty good to have that match there. But once again, that was a good match. That's a big match. But if you're going to do it for the first one, well, you know, it's kind of tick for tat. You got to go with Stone Cold. But there were some other big matches you could have done that you could have put in as a traditional one.
I felt, I mean, I feel like they were kind of in hear me out. I feel like they were in a really a big jam here because I feel like they probably wanted to put in the Hogan Andre match with the slam.
Oh, yeah.
But I think they were like, look, we can't do that because Hogan has this freaking bad
black cloud of
juju
doom around him.
Yeah, he's got a huge, you know, thunderstorm above him, and that's his own fault. Nevertheless, I'm not making excuses, but I feel like they were like, oh, this is what match we want to do. And I think they were like, actually, we need to go in a less problematic direction here, and we have to go with a match from WrestleMania 13. I am mixed bag on this. I mean, the UFC does this. They'll put fights in the Hall of Fame. I think that's a huge, that's a copy and paste. That's a TKO, additional way to build revenue. Like what? Stone Cold and Bret Hart are going to get another Hall of Fame ring? How does that work? Do they get a plaque? Is it going to be another ring? Or do they claim that I'm a one-time Hall of Famer and a one-time match Hall of Famer? Like, how do you present that?
Well, you know, when I saw that today, I got a little upset. And because if you're going to do this, and my big say was, if you're going to do an iconic match for this, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with Stone Cold. Perfect person to do it with. Bret Hart, same thing. Perfect two people to do it with. But you got to go with the guy whose name is officially the name of the show, Mr. WrestleMania. Give it to Michaels first. Michaels and Bret Hart Iron Man match. Michaels and Razor Ramon ladder match. Give it to him for that. God knows, give it to the greatest match of all time. WrestleMania 25. Michaels and the Taker, part 1. Put that one as the icon match as the first one you're going to put in. Then, you know, do the other ones.
Yeah, I think there was, hit us up on social media. You got our social medias there at MOWM_podcast at Sports with Luke. Go to my pinned tweet for the Nightcap post and comment after this show's over, or put them in the comments on the live stream. Tell me which match, and tell Sean which match, tell the both of us which match you would have liked to have seen be the first match inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. That's a good one to talk about.
Mine's
But
WrestleMania 25. Michael's Undertaker.
I feel like I think you were in a. I think I like the Razor Ramon Shawn Michaels match. I think that
Yes.
would have been the one as well. I think saying that one. I mean, what was the WrestleMania 1 main event? Was Hogan involved in that one?
Yeah, it was Hogan and T versus
Versus
Cowboy Bob Orton and Roddy Piper.
right. Yeah. Once again, problematic. So I guess
Yeah,
WrestleManias 1, 2, and 3 are
they're
out.
done.
So then,
Well,
yeah,
4 or 5, all of them, because I think Hogan
it's
main
Hogan main
event like the
evented.
first 5 or 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah. So I feel like those are out. Yeah, I think they were looking at it from that perspective too. I think they were like, "What's the first WrestleMania main event or match that we could like look at?" And I think they overlooked a few, but I think they settled on this one because two
Well,
beloved.
Stone Cold and little Bret Hart.
They love Bret Hart. Yeah, yeah, exactly. We love Bret Hart in this household.
Oh
You
yeah,
know how
Bret
it is.
Hart had the most social media, man. His social media's funny.
I love him, dude. Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre match that could have been a premium live event. Could have been a WrestleMania match, you know. We get it tonight here on SmackDown free television. Sean, shocked. Drew McIntyre wins this match. Clean as a whistle.
Clean. Very shocked. Hey, shout out to Joe saying this is it. He said the same thing you just said, Mike. This is a show you would expect to see on a premium live event. You're getting it right here on Friday Night SmackDown. That's what makes people the new people who have not watched SmackDown. You know, skimming the channels. Hey, this is not a game I want to watch on March Madness. I don't watch this Kentucky-Tennessee blowout. I'm going to try this wrestling thing. And hear him say that makes you feel like this is a big match. Drew to win this clean. I didn't see that coming at all. I thought it was going to be RKO out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. I hear voices in my head. The crowd singing along. Randy strikes the pose. KO comes out, beats up Randy, and they went the total 360 opposite on me on this one.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Damn it, Drew didn't need this match. Drew needed this win more than Randy needed it. Because right
Drew
now,
like air.
yes. This is big momentum for him next week, going into Raw and SmackDown to say, I beat Randy.
And it opens up a beautiful, wonderful door because Damian Priest choke slams Drew through the windshield of the car tonight. Real glass, Crimea River, CM Punk laughed as he walked past. Damn. All right. That was a rhyme. All right, yes. I'll take it. But I'm not a rapper. I love everything about this. Once again, we're keeping Drew close to the main action, but we're also people hated on Drew and Priest. It's been a freaking great build between these two guys.
It has. I was one of the people who thought this match would be kind of like opening match night 1, middle match night 1. But I want to see this match closer to the end. They have did good telling the story and booking both of these two guys where they hate each other. And Drew has the ultimate thing to be hate Priest about. You took the belt from me. You took my WrestleMania moment. And I mean, tonight when Drew choke slammed through the windshield, I was like, wow. Like they have really took their time to build this and make it feel special and big.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they went full, like, I have to appreciate it because they went full circle on it. They went right full circle. Drew finally comes back a year later to WrestleMania against Damian Priest, the man who cashed in on him after he won the belt, thanks to CM Punk. We hit CM Punk on the way. We hit Seth Rollins on the way for Priest. We hit all of these pieces on the way to get the inevitable Drew Priest match. I thought that was well executed, and I have to give credit where credit is due. Triple H, you've kind of screwed up a little bit on the build, and some of the card placement, I'll argue.
Yes.
But this, for a non-titles, whatever, rivalry match, it has a really solid build.
It does. And I tell you, Drew knocks those promos out. In backstage promos, he knocks them out every week, man.
Look, guy who probably deserves, I think at some point, you got to make the argument Drew's going to get a nice long title reign with that world title on Raw probably. Or he's on SmackDown now. So I'm expecting him to get a nice world title run at some point in the very near future. Honestly, I wasn't sold on McIntyre versus Priest, but hot damn, this storyline is heating up. See, when you got Mark, and Mark is very, very critical of the booking of WrestleMania this year, so you can check out his show, and he'll tell you all about it, how he would have booked WrestleMania. But to hear from Mark, that's saying something.
It
This
is.
feud has heated up at the right time. Has. Jimmy Uso versus The Miz. And no, this is not upside down for The Miz.
I
My
thought it
name
was
is
upside down
my
for the
name is
Miz, man.
also Mike, and I figure what better way to, double entendre here, turn it upside down. For me, maybe one day we'll get one that's MOWM in the style, but I don't think that'd work. It'd probably just look like a jumbled mess of letters. Jimmy Uso wins this match. I don't even remember what happened here, Sean. I forgot. I'm gonna be honest. I blinked and this was over.
I blinked it was over. I knew Jimmy was winning this match. You felt like this was a setup to give Jimmy just a little bit more momentum going into Monday night, knowing that he's going to lose to Gunther. Thought Jimmy did good at the end. Big Jim, one thing about Big Jim, what you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get about Big Jim.
When he climbs on the table, he's going for Joe Testimony's head, saying, Joe said, here, just take this one. I'm in the house just dying laughing like, well, damn, the match wasn't good, but damn, the end. With Jimmy, you're going to get some type of comedy. He's going to find some way to make you laugh without trying not to make you laugh. But to cut the promo, they call you the ring general, but when I'm done with your ass, you're going to be private Gunther. I thought that was good, but it set Jimmy up to give us some credibility going into Monday night, knowing that Gunther's going to put him to sleep on Monday night.
Oh, yeah, poor Jim. Big Jim. Good luck. Big Jim, good luck against Big Gunther.
Yes.
Oh boy, I'm sorry. I hate to see it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to discuss here. So in the last, 10, 15 minutes of the show, let's break it down, folks. Roman, Seth, and Punk signed the contract for WrestleMania, Sean. And Sean and myself actually had the pleasure of getting to watch this one kind of together. So, Sean, let's hear your takeaways from this, and then we'll talk a little bit about mine, and we'll talk a little bit about everything. So let's hear it.
This was great. This was what we say when WWE gets it right. Same thing was about AEW. They get it right. Now, when they get it wrong, they get it wrong. And the biggest thing that you always see with these contract signs is, one, it's going to be a mix-up. They're going to do some fighting. 20 referees, 20 security guards, 20 backstage producers trying to break everybody up. Somebody do the big dive jump with the Superman punch and keeps it going. This felt like I was watching a UFC contract signing, a boxing match contract signing. It felt real. With the guys coming out with security behind them, all pulling up at different occasions, the way they came out, Seth coming out not dressed up in one of these Seth Rollins outfits, dressed up in a business suit, looking more serious about this. The promo was good. Roman did his part. When my daughter said, why is Roman coming out first? I said, because Roman got to lay the groundwork. He's going to lay the groundwork to build so that Seth and Punk can build everything on it. Roman did his part well. Seth did his part well. Seth pretty much just throwing a temper tantrum in the ring and just pissed off. Punk finally got what he deserves. I've been saying it since WrestleMania 29. Him and the Taker should have been the main event. They tore the damn house down that night. Tore it down. Don't know why they didn't give it to him. He should have got it in, but he finally got it. And the biggest thing coming out of this was right at the end when Punk said, it's not the favor. It's not the favor.
It's not the favor.
I know you thought it was the favor, Roman, to finally get a main event. And even have Punk acknowledge Roman Reigns. That was even good because you just kept feeling like he was going to say something leading up to it. Paul, salute to Paul Heyman. Like I always say with Paul, he knows how to give you those facial expressions at the right times, the right second. This was perfect. I was impressed.
I agree. Let's break it down. Punk, Roman, Seth come out at different interviews with the security. Roman gets the crowd hyped up. The crowd singing Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. You got Paul Heyman saying Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. I love international crowds. I love their football chants that they have because they translate right over to wrestling so well. Paul singing it, and then of course, here comes Seth. The crowd starts singing Seth's song. Oh. Puts the mic in Paul's face. Paul just got that bulldog, like just staring him down, not even acknowledging it. And then, of course, Seth breaks into the history of the Shield.
Yes.
10 years ago, 13 years ago, we landed a helicopter on this very building, came through those crowd. We tried to rewrite the image of WWE in our own image, and we were successful. And, it's because of you and that I've had to clean up the messes, because Roman then states to him, well, if it wasn't for me, we're not on Netflix. We're not signing $1 billion deals.
Yep.
Seth cuts right into it. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have to constantly screw you over. Like, I love it. I love the history here. I love the other.
Yeah, they told the whole history there. Perfect.
And then Seth, like you said, no crazy BS.
Yes.
No lace shirts, no latex gimp suits, no nothing.
Peacock costumes.
Nothing. Full on, nice, fancy suit, stylish suit, which I liked. Loved the crowd sign, Seth Sexy Rollins. Great. Loved it. Oh, no, Seth Freaky Rollins.
This was it, Seth Freaky Rollins.
What it was, Seth Freaky Rollins. Love it. If you are the person that had that sign, 10 out of 10. Great work.
Yes.
Punk. Here comes Punk. And talking a little bit about his path, and thanks to fans and everything, but I love the emotions seen by Paul and Punk. Real tears, man. Real tears. Actual real tears. Cry me a river, because what an emotional moment for Paul and for CM Punk here, because Paul got Punk in this business, brought him to WWE, was his project.
Yes.
And now to see his, adopted wrestling son main event WrestleMania, what an incredible moment. And like you said, Seth having a full-blown crash out.
Yes.
As soon as Roman says, I got you the main event, you could thank your tribal chief, acknowledge me, yada, yada, yada. Seth just absolutely throwing the biggest of hissy fits. No, what did you do? No, he doesn't get to deserve it. It's not right. He hasn't earned this. He's a cancer. I think the great way for Seth to advance his character is to have him go lose his fucking mind when he loses at WrestleMania. When Punk pins him, I think you should have Seth just lose his mind. Forget about the suits. Forget about, not bum ass Corbin level, but I think you should have Seth just being a menace.
Brian Pillman, the loose cannon.
Oh,
go that way.
Great. Run it back. Because there's no other way for Seth to go here, because if Seth loses to Punk again and Roman's involved in this, oh my God, Seth better crash out. He better be curb stomping every person he sees on the Raw after Mania. I better see curb stomps to everyone.
Yes.
Everyone. I love this, and I agree to your sentiment, Sean. We don't need to do the BS pull-apart brawls. No. We don't need to do none of that. We have three of the most popular wrestlers, entertainers, three of the greatest storytellers in the business right now, of all time, in my personal opinion. Punk certainly is one of them. Seth and Roman still trying to make their mark.
Right.
Tell the story. And with Paul Heyman as your advocate for Roman, the favor, we still don't know what the hell this favor is. And Logan saw the comment earlier, he thinks Punk enters the match, Cena Rhodes. I also think Punk enters some sort of championship match, whether it's at WrestleMania, the night after WrestleMania, SummerSlam. I think he's getting a championship match. I don't know how they're going to play it out. What do you think about this? What's the favor? What's your guess?
I'm with you. I think if you're going to do it, he's got to do it at Mania. Put the money on the line. Do it at Mania. Cash in like Seth did on Brock and Roman, and have Punk come in and have Cena win number 17. Cena celebrate. He's a heel. So what better have Cena win 17? CM Punk comes in and says, hey, this is the favor. I get an automatic WWE title shot whenever I choose. I want it right now. GTS, just like he did Cena last time. 1, 2, 3, Cena puts him over. Cena start, like you said, the redemption tour. Punk's our new champ.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it makes sense. At the end of the day, look, we reverse the stories. We reverse the very stories. They already alluded to this week with John Cena on Raw, saying as soon as he wins that title, he's the last real champion. He's taking the title and he's retiring. What did CM Punk do at Money in the Bank all those years ago against John Cena? Took that title, Up that barricade, blew a kiss to he
And
who shall not be named and John Cena, and left. Cena I bet you, is going to attempt to do the same thing, but just the roles are going to be reversed. An evil Cena and the mega face that is CM Punk, stopping Cena from leaving WWE with the title. Apropos, cathartic, fill in your favorite thesaurus word or word that Cody Rhodes likes to use, because that's what would it be.
That's what's going to be. Fireworks going off. Punk has his big moment that he's been waiting for desperately so long.
And we start a new summer of Punk. Man.
Best summer ever.
It very well could be. And Cody, we're going to have to figure out poor Cody, but I like Cody on the chase. Send him over to Raw. Send him back to Raw. Let him chase Gunther. Cody versus Gunther at Mania 42. Sign me the hell up.
Yes, and one thing about Cody is the title don't make Cody, and Cody don't make the title. Cody don't need the title right now. Cody's going to be over whether he's wearing the title or if he's not wearing the title. He's over. He's the star. Put the title on somebody like Punk who can elevate it even more. Because right now you feel like it's elevated with Cody as a champ, but it's kind of still at a stalemate. Because if Cody dropped it right now and put it on somebody else, we're still going to cheer for Cody next week. Because he's just that over.
What worries me, though, is if Cody does drop the Cena, I mean, does that hurt Cody's face of the company? He loses to the old face of the company, now the heel of the company. Like, that's the only thing and I think that's just that's a stupid wrestling podcaster thought. I think we're just too analytical, like, oh, it doesn't hurt it doesn't hurt his face of the company status, I feel, but it also, as like your, whatever, smart mark, whatever you want to call me, I'm also kind of like inclined to be like, but that kind of hurts him a little bit. Like a splash.
I think with Cody, for me, I prefer Cody better chasing for the title. When he lost to Roman at 39, I was hurt. I was like, man, damn, they screwed Cody over. Kyle came back. They promised him the moon. And damn, this how you treat him? Screw him over, have him lose. But to have him go back on there and chase for another year to finally win it just was good. I feel like with Cody, he's the type of guy, the chase is better than the title reign.
Yeah, I can agree to it. I mean, I've enjoyed his title reign. I just feel like they weren't able to squeeze in a few of the feuds that they wanted to during the reign. Right. And I think we got I regret the Logan Paul feud majorly. I wish that was someone else. Yes. I would have much rather preferred, anybody else on that roster. Rey Fenix will be debuting on SmackDown next week.
That's big.
That's huge. Aleister Black looks like he's debuting on the SmackDown after WrestleMania on 4/25, if that is in fact Aleister Black. The Wyatt Six haven't been seen since they've kidnapped Shawn. That was the last we've seen them. We haven't seen them on SmackDown ever. Alexa Bliss, I don't know where she's at. Wyatt Six, I don't know where they're at. So there's some inconsistencies as well on SmackDown, but I guess we've got 3 more weeks to figure it out.
Well, we're Mania season. I mean, you feel like the Wyatt Six now, they're just kind of fading to the back of the line. And when you bring them back, are we still going to be heavily invested in the Wyatt Six and Uncle Howdy how we were when they first started?
I will be, but that's just me because I'm a fan. Who knows if a casual will be all over that again? Like they had something, they struck, and then
yes, they struck gold with it.
And then they just fumbled it, man. I was worried about that. That was the big thing I was worried about, and I hate that it ended up coming true. So, it is what it is, I guess. Sean, what a show it's been. We got to talk a lot about wrestling tonight. It's great to be back with you, man. As well, folks. Thank you to all of you guys for supporting Boom Broadcasting. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart. Sean, you got Wrestling to Destiny coming out tomorrow morning?
I will be out of town tomorrow morning, so I may try to get one in. If not, we'll definitely be back on next week.
Okay. We got an episode of It Stinks coming soon.
Yes, we do. We got some stuff to cover. We got to cover Wicked. We got to cover Chicago franchise back on. Watch Wicked for like the 10th time again. So, man.
So good. So good,
man. It gets better and better every time. The only movie that can bring anybody to tears.
I definitely shed a couple. I'm not afraid to admit it. Like Macho Man said, it's not a shame. Men cry. It's not a shame. You're not less than men for crying.
I'm telling you, man, I got so close so many times I had to get up and go, well, I'm getting something to drink to just get myself back together.
Yeah, I just got something in my eye. Don't worry about it. I just got something in my eye. I got some dust in my eye.
But we got to cover that. We got to do Chicago franchise back on. We got some shows getting canceled. That's on the bubble. Equalizers on the bubble and another one on CBS. So we're going to talk about that. So definitely some stuff on Instinct will definitely coming out next week.
Don't say Equalizers on the bubble. I'm gonna have to break that news to my parents. That's their Sunday night show. They're gonna be pissed.
It dropped today. It's on the bubble again, man. And I thought when SWAT got cut, that Equalizer would slide through, but it's back on the bubble again.
How many times SWAT got
canceled, man? I don't know what's going on over there.
CBS sucks, dude. They never plan ahead, dude. They always be cutting shows. Like Evil, did they need to get rid of Evil? Kept Evil around. They should have kept Evil around. That was an incredible show.
I even thought with CBS, I know they're going with FBI, CIA show together now, but I always said, man, you could have kept International and Most Wanted, or either combine one of those together and then brought in a new show. But I guess from what they're saying now, the cast for International and Most Wanted are going to cross over to this show, but it's going to be hard.
Oh, yeah. So make sure you go catch It Stinks when Sean drops his new episodes. Wrestling of Destiny's back next week. We got all sorts of other contests. We got new shows. We got Hoops and Helmets hosted by Aaron from Gridiron Address. Carson, you got 3 from Deep. That's out every day. Jason is an absolute machine. The guy's a robot. He's creating content every day for all of you when it comes to basketball. You got playoffs coming down the pipeline. Everything is popping here. Go subscribe. Go show some love to all these guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean, thank you so much here for joining me on the Nightcap. It's great to have you back. Folks, the Nightcap's done. Have a great weekend. Go out there. Have a good weekend. We're done. See you guys.
Let's go, Duke.